Our third guest from the United States is Thea Leevel from AFL-CIO. This is a big labor union federation. So please could you explain us first what is AFL-CIO, just for the Hungarian audience to have a image about it, and then what is your general opinion about TTIP, because TTIP has been sold or in Europe that it creates jobs and economic growth. So what is your opinion about it? What are the possible dangers of TTIP?
Sure. Well, the AFL-CIO is a federation of 56 unions in the United States. We represent 12.5 million people in pretty much every sector of the economy: nurses, teachers, steel workers, football players, movie actors, writers, so a real broad range of workers in the United States. And so we are a voice for working people, and we have been very active in the trade debate. We have been following TTIP very closely, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, and also the Trans-Pacific. Our country is negotiating two enormous trade agreements at the same time, and we have a lot of concerns about the direction of the negotiations. We have a disagreement with our own government about what these trade agreements will do. We think that they need to be very different, and we will oppose the TTIP if it continues on this track. We haven't taken a position yet because it's not done yet, and we're trying our best to send a strong message to our government. We want these agreements to create good jobs in the United States and in the European Union. We want them to protect workers' rights, to protect the environment, and to make sure they don't undermine democratic governments in both the European Union and in the United States. But we are concerned about the investor-state dispute settlement mechanism. We think this gives way too much power to multinational corporations to sue governments over regulations that cost them money. We are concerned about the regulatory coherence, whether that means that the stronger regulations in either party could be at risk of being undermined. So, we have strong regulations in some areas. The European Union has strong regulations in other areas. We want to make sure that those are preserved. But in terms of the job impact, we have a lot of experience with trade agreements in the United States, and our government always promises that they will create a lot of jobs and help economic growth, and that tends not to be the case. What we've seen in the past is these trade agreements have hollowed out our manufacturing sector. They've cost us millions of jobs in the United States. We have whole communities that are devastated, that have lost factories and other jobs, but they've also put downward pressure on wages because the companies use the freer trade to beat down wages, to bust unions, to fight for weaker labor protections. And so this is the dynamic that we've seen in the past, that these agreements are not so much about selling more stuff, but they're about improving conditions for multinational corporations.
Thank you very much. And at the end, what is your message to Hungarian audience, Hungarian citizens, or Hungarian labor unions regarding TTIP?
Well, we want to continue to work closely with our counterparts in Hungary, with the unions, the environmental groups, the consumer groups, because we think it's really important, first of all, that we share information. There's been too much secrecy about the TTIP from both the EU and the United States, so we want to share information. We want to make sure that we are making arguments that will help each other. So, for example, we want good, strong labor protections in the TTIP, and we want to work with Hungarian unions and European unions to put pressure on our government to have a similar message.
Thank you very much, and good luck in your struggle.
Thank you, and good luck in yours.